Hello, this is Miss DeVito, and today I'm going to show you how to make blueberry muffins with a crumb or streusel topping. Here are the ingredients that you need for this recipe to make 12 to 14 muffins. You need 2 cups of all-purpose flour plus 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour on the side, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder and ½ teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of granulated sugar, 3/4 of a cup of whole milk, 1 large egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 8 tablespoons or 4 ounces of butter melted, along with 1½ cups of blueberries. And you're going to combine the blueberries with the 2 tablespoons of flour later. For equipment, you will need muffin liners, a strainer or a sifter. You also need a rubber spatula, a portion scoop, and a whisk, a large mixing bowl. And you're also going to need a muffin pan. I have 2 different pans here. They hold the same amount, but one has deeper walls than the other. I'm going to choose the more shallow muffin tin because I prefer more of the top of the muffin than the bottom. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sift my flour, my baking powder, and my salt. You do this to kind of aerate the flour a little bit. And really, the importance of it is to make sure that there are no large particles in your flour, your baking powder, and your salt, and that they get well combined. Then I'm going to add my sugar to the bowl, and I'm going to combine it a little bit with my whisk, just to make sure that the sugar and all the other ingredients are evenly distributed. Next, I'm going to take my bowl of milk, and I'm going to add into it my melted butter. The milk has been sitting out a little bit to get to room temperature, so it's not very cold. And so when I add the melted butter into it, it will not start to harden. And I'm going to add to that my vanilla extract and my egg. I'm going to mix that until it's combined well, and then I'm going to start incorporating it into my flour mixture. I'm just going to whisk it about 3/4 of the way through, okay? Remember, you don't want to overmix it at this point because you still have to add the blueberries. In a small bowl, I'm going to take my blueberries. I'm going to combine them with the 2 tablespoons of remaining flour, and I'm going to mix them well. The reason for this is because if you coat the blueberries in some flour, the flour allows the blueberries to adhere to the batter, and during the cooking process, they will be evenly distributed instead of sinking to the bottom. Now, I used frozen fresh blueberries. So you can use fresh berries, you can use pre-frozen blueberries, but I actually took fresh blueberries, froze them in my freezer on a sheet pan, and then popped them in a Ziploc bag so that they were good for future use. Notice I just combined it briefly until all of the flour has been absorbed into the batter. And now I'm going to start to pan up my muffins. So I'm going to spray my pan liberally because you don't know if they are going to overflow when they're baking. So you just want to make sure that you help them avoid sticking. I'm going to use a portion scoop, and I'm going to just put 1 scoop, about 2 ounces, into each of the muffin liners. You do not necessarily have to use muffin liners, but if you do not use them, you need to make sure that the muffin tin is coated well with pan spray. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a really quick crumb streusel topping. You need 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter melted, and 2/3 of a cup plus 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour. You're going to take the butter that has been melted, and you're going to add the cinnamon and the brown sugar to the melted butter. You're going to mix it well, breaking down any clumps of the brown sugar until it forms a paste. And then from there, you're going to add the brown sugar mixture straight into the bowl of flour. I'm going to use a fork for this process. I feel that the mixing is much easier with a fork. I'm able to crush down some of the brown sugar right into the flour and maintain a crumb-like texture that I'm looking for. Okay. okay? When you pick it up, it should hold together almost like sand, and so that's when you're ready, you're ready to go. There should be no more flour visible in the bowl. I'm going to put about a heaping tablespoon on each of these muffins, and then I'm going to get ready to put them in my preheated 400-degree oven for 18 to 20 minutes. So you see they're in my oven. Halfway through the cooking process, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my oven. I'm going to rotate them because I want to make sure that they are cooking evenly. After 20 minutes, I'm going to take them out of the oven. I'm going to test them. I'm going to stick a toothpick inside of each of them. If it comes out nice and clean without any extra batter, they're ready to go. Let them cool a couple of minutes before you take them out of the pan because they're very fragile. Once they're cooled, you can top them with a little bit of powdered sugar that you sift on top of them with your strainer. We hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know if you try out our recipe. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell for notifications for when we post new videos.